What's up, House of Strengthers? This is episode 27 of the House of Strength podcast. And today, just like every other episode, this one's going to be really cool. But our guest today is Andy Hnilo. Andy is professional model, former professional baseball player, and just an all-around really cool dude. So I'm excited for this one. I first heard of Andy on the Bulletproof podcast with Dave Asprey. And on that particular podcast, Andy told a really inspirational story about his own recovery from a pretty bad accident. And it really motivated me and kind of gave me a little bit of an extra push. And I think that when you hear the story today, you'll get that same kind of push. But Andy also has some special recovery tricks and tools that he used and continues to use. So we're going to share those with you. And we're going to get into a lot of other cool information. So with all that said, Andy, thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It was really good to meet you a few weeks ago at the Bulletproof conference out in Pasadena. I know we did exchange messages and emails and stuff like that, but it was good to, put a face, a name, so to speak, via email and meet you in person. So Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So I agree, man. It was really good to be able to, make that personal connection and get to meet somebody. And you just don't get that with email or anything like that. So let's talk about how it all got started for you. I know former baseball player, and you definitely are into health. I mean, this is not something that's new to you. So how did you get started working out and eating healthy and, kind of take us back to the beginning of all that?
So, let's see. I mean, I was about 166 pounds junior year in high school. Really skinny, obviously. I was about 6'2", about 6'2". And I needed to put on weight bad. So I just really started from that point on. I started reading labels and, the beginning stages, right?
Right.
Protein, fats, calories. I had to maximize those three to put on weight. At least, those were the beginning GNC days. I would just big into taking as many calories in as I could and working out as much as I could. And I thought that would equal mass. And it did a little bit. My, metabolism was so fast at that age. I remember I used to eat, Marie Callender's berry cobbler with vanilla ice cream every night. I mean, before I go to bed, in hopes that I'd put on a pound or two. That stuff's unbelievable. I gotta maybe not. I was gonna say maybe I should have another one, just kind of take a stroll down memory lane, but I don't think that's gonna happen, considering what's in that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it did the job at the time, and slowly started to put on weight, and you grow from that, attention to labels and ingredients as far as calories, fat, and protein. Then I started taking it a step further when I went to college at a school, UC Berkeley. I got a baseball scholarship there. And, the trainers and nutrition staff started to educate us a little bit further on supplemental ways to supplement diet and seek gains that way in muscle and weight and recovery. And so year by year, I would take it a step further and just naturally gain knowledge through the people that I was around, coaches, really, I'm thinking back to people that really influenced me, like I said, trainers, different, in different departments really helped educate me and made sense. And it just gained, this is back when I was 19 years old. I'm about to be 33 now. So pretty much 14 years of having a huge passion towards health, nutrition, well-being, and and now I'm in the skincare business as well. But it's just been a huge passion of mine. It's one of those things that it just makes you feel better if that's what you're looking for. It made me feel better, and in doing so, it made me treat others better and just a happier person all around. And then obviously my athletic performance would improve because of, just little things like seeking goals through the weight gain that you did. And just that constant discipline, right, of diligently working towards something and then seeing gains makes you better, mentally as well. So just that would, really helped out athletically. And now that I'm not playing anymore, I just kind of good. I'm just going to take that mentality and apply it towards everything that I do for the rest of my life, professionally, personally, and it's just it's got me to where I am today. So there it is, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And where
I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's to me, it was a very similar journey or path, and the weight room was the thing that kind of opened the door and kind of started that process. So it's really cool to be able to have a gym now where we can help people get started down that path on their own journey. So let's get right to the big story. So I've heard this, but tell it again. For the folks listening who haven't heard, your accident, what happened, and then just that amazing story of recovery.
Thank you, man. March 20th, 2011, I was crossing Melrose, a really busy street, as a pedestrian. Just kind of carelessly looking at my phone, and I got hit by a westbound heading car and hit into the eastbound lane and then run over by an eastbound heading car, and, just really banged up, lost consciousness, broke 7 ribs. I woke up in Cedars-Sinai ICU, jaw just shattered. I'm talking bone was exposed through the bottom of my mouth near my tongue. Like it was disgusting. But so I was heavily medicated at that point. So I just thought everything was a joke. And then I woke up from that and realized it wasn't. And I don't think about it too much, but because I'm just really super happy to be where I'm at right now in life. But I'm happy to talk about it. I love it. I love where I have been and been through and where I'm at right now. And it's if I can help others do the same, and that's what it's all about, right? Like I do it all over again, believe it or not, because I found purpose through it. I have a company now because of that. I found my passion that has been, ironically staring me in the face since I've been, in my early 20s that I haven't really capitalized on, but which is, health, nutrition, skincare. But now it's there, and I'm going to take it and run with it. But it was a long road to recovery, and I used nutrition to get back to better than I was before, believe it or not. Looking back, I was pretty much unrecognizable from my jaw being broken from the center of my chin all the way over to the bottom of my ear. Pretty much, I had 2 titanium plates inserted that are now out, but that was getting them out was a whole another recovery as well, because the bone grows back over the titanium plates, and it's just excruciating. That was actually worse, I think, feeling. I mean, not aesthetically, but internally. I mean, that was brutal getting them out. I mean, it was just like shocking your body all over again, going, dude, like again, really? Like
how much or how long after the initial recovery was that operation?
October 2011. So what, 8 months? Okay. I think after 6, 7, 8 months, I did actually, as the bone had grown back, and I was eligible to get them removed, and I just wanted to get the recovery. I just wanted to get this thing over as soon as possible. Yeah. So I was happy to get them taken out. I wish they would have let me keep them. That
would have been cool.
But they didn't let me keep them. That's ridiculous. Like,
well,
I would get those things framed and go, all right, just kind of talk about perspective. You see those freaking beats every day, kind of make you think about some things. But I already got perspective, and I don't need to see those. But it would have been kind of cool to keep them.
Yeah. So we mentioned this in the beginning that Andy is a model. But ladies, if you're listening and not watching, you need to get the video and check this out. But and you got to check out Andy's mug, and you are back to modeling. You're still modeling, and I think that's a testament to the recovery practices that you used, not only internally but also externally with the skincare, and we're going to talk about how that's led to the creation of your company, and you formulated your own mask. But you also have some other recovery techniques that helped you. Let's talk about like some of the recovery shakes, the internal stuff first, then we'll get into the mask. But I think one thing that really stuck out to me from that story that we haven't touched on yet was that you were supposed to be on the runway, 6 weeks from the time of the initial accident, right? And you never even told your agent that you'd been.
Yeah. I didn't want to, man. Like I just didn't want to make that phone call, number one, and be like, hey, it was kind of far out enough. I just put it down as a goal to, I was like, I'm going to make that show. And so I got to nail down the exact, all it would take is just checking my emails. But I think it's like, I think it was around seven or 8 weeks. But I was back. I did the show. Of course I was like, I did a shirtless, I was the only shirtless dude in one of the looks, and I had a huge scar. I mean, there's just scars not going to heal in 7 or 8 weeks, so I don't think they knew that was coming. But I had like this just gnarly road rash scar on my hip, all the way in the middle to the middle of my back, and it got some people raised some eyebrows. But dude, whatever. I mean, I did it, and that was kind of cool. It was good to see. It was good to see my mom like just happy that I was back doing something that I loved, and to kind of get my zest back, because that had been taken away from me. It really had. And that was like the first little victory for me. And that all that it did is just snowball. And it just continues to grow. It was all about getting that zest back in my life, and in building those victories and that momentum, that personal momentum. That I'm sure you can relate to. Everybody can, we all need that. And I was in a fog mentally through where I was and what I was taking with the antibiotics and CT scans and X-rays, but also just confidence wise, it sucked. I went to a whole new grocery stores because I didn't want to see the same people and explain, with my jaw wired shut, what had happened. It became, I'm very happy to be alive, and I was very happy to be alive. But it's just, you get tired of the way people look at you, number one, and then also having to explain what happened. And so I just went to whole new grocery stores, and that's just what I did, and that's just how I dealt with it. And I worked my ass off every day to get back into shape. That was all I had to do. I was still working. And I was bartending at the time at a few times a week at night with my jaw wired shut, which is hilarious. But then during the day, all I had to do was just take in the proper nutrition to heal this thing from the inside out, and I did. So, but it was a long time coming, and yeah.
Well, you said a couple of things in there that I really like, and I mean, you put yourself in that spot where your back is almost against the wall, and you gave yourself no other option. I'm going to make this happen, and like you said, you get the ball kind of rolling, you build some momentum, you start getting little victories, and that ball it snowballs. You build that momentum, and when you're doing something that you're passionate about, it snowballs, and you just become unstoppable. So I know that these recovery shakes,
unstoppable.
That's right. And I know these recovery shakes were shakes. Now, is that because the jaw was wired shut, or is that just the only way that you would get some of these ingredients down?
Yeah, so the jaw was wired shut, and I couldn't do straw. So I just had to do say if I were to mix raw meat in there, which I wasn't supposed to do. I just did it because it sounds disgusting, and believe me, it was. Well, but I would do things like egg yolks and bison liver, grass-fed lamb heart,
and you were doing
raw ground beef, and
deer placenta, right?
Deer placenta, but those are capsules. Okay. So that was it's deer placenta. So I mean, I don't know. A lot of people get a kick out of that one, but I wanted to make as anti-inflammatory and as nutrient and mineral dense a shake or tonic, as I call it now, as possible. And that was the only way I was getting nutrition in my body, and I knew that was how I was going to heal quickest, is by getting that in my system. And I couldn't chew anything. My jaw was wired shut. I was talking like this, and I couldn't I couldn't use a straw because it would put pressure on the internal stitches and possibly pull that out. So I just had to like down it through the wires, so to speak, and kind of pick out with a little baby toothbrush the little connective tissue of the liver and stuff. It's disgusting, man, but it makes me appreciate chewing a nice ribeye right now. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to turn down any of that, and I don't. So I'm just, man, I'm really just stoked to be able to smile and chew. I mean, I probably did and I still go to the dentist every couple months because my jaw is constantly moving forward, and I have to get my teeth shaved down in order to fit my bite, right? Because my teeth were gone. I mean, the bottom right here, they're probably dead. I don't know. I can't feel this side of my chin over, and I definitely can't feel my teeth. Wow. So I don't know. They're probably dead, but because I severed my mental nerve, which they said they reattached it, and they said it possibly will grow back, but it's not guaranteed. Wow. And I don't feel anything, so who knows if it will. But it's only been three and a half years or whatever. So we'll see if it grows back. If not, man, I'm alive, dude, and right. I have a lot to be thankful for, and I definitely am. So it's a trip. I'm always I got this habit. I'm always doing this because it's you put on chapstick, it's a trip, right?
You don't.
I don't use chapstick. Like right here, totally fine, and then down here, I don't feel anything from this side over. It's the weirdest feeling ever. Right here, no, can't feel it. It's a trip, dude.
So you're walking around.
It's just like fuzzy. Like I don't feel anything. So it's.
You're walking around like that chick with lipstick like all over her face, like you don't know because you don't feel it.
Yeah, man, and I was like that. I drinking something, and I'd have friends go, "Dude, you got a little something," and I had no idea. I cut myself shaving, and I would see it, but like I wouldn't feel it at the time. I think it's fine, and then you see blood running down. You're like, oh, well, whoops.
Yeah.
And, but it's stuff like that, man. People complain about traffic and all this stuff. It's like, dude, what kind of life experience? Who cares? Like that's out of your control. Throw on some music, deal with it, man. Like I got nothing to complain about, and that's why I don't.
Yeah,
I can hear me.
I love that perspective, and I think we can all take something from that, and hopefully find that perspective without having to go through an event like what you did. But how did you come up with, or how did you find these ingredients that you put in your tonics, the ginseng and the deer placenta? I know that's, people laugh about it, but still, like, you're not going to see that on commercials or supermarket shelves. How did you find these things, and how did you acquire them?
So I met with a couple Chinese herbalists, and they, we put our heads together. We wanted to, figure out a way to heal this thing holistically. It's just, I get it, but Western medicine, I knew that wasn't going to handle it, and I knew the creams and serums and stuff like that externally weren't going to heal it at all. That my surgeons were recommending. So I kind of just I believed in the whole Chinese Chinese herb remedy of healing it from the inside out with herb, pearl, astragalus, cistanche. So they explained to me that building your blood, purifying that blood, and then circulating that blood, that clean blood, was going to circulate the nutrients that I was taking in. And then it just clicked. It made sense. And then really, really kicking up the growth factors with things like colostrum, deer antler, deer placenta, obviously, just really nutrient-dense foods. And Chinese frame builders that have been time-tested for years, centuries, and with things like Ho Shu Wu. And I just bought into that because I've been using things like Ho Shu Wu for vitality for years, since I was like 24. It's just, I've always been interested in it. I've done a lot. It's something I love reading about. And what else better to learn than try it out on yourself? And if you can see or feel a difference, there's a reason for that. And I did, with certain things. Believe me, there's been a million things out there that I just haven't. And what better way to test it out on than through yourself? So I'd experienced the undeniable, benefits from things like Ho Shu Wu, and that's why I bought in and met with these people and wanted to come up with a plan to fix this and purify the system, because I was in such a fog through, like I said, the the stuff that I was taking in, antibiotics, just pills, painkillers, CT scans, x-rays, heavy metals that were just leaving me in a daze. I was just a zombie. Yeah. And I hated that, man. So I was the plan to just detox and get back as quick as possible. I got a lot of help through a buddy of mine named Crosby, and a lot of people down at Dragon Herbs on Robertson and a little south of Melrose, Ron Teagarden Herbs. Like, these people know their stuff, and I just bought in and I believed in it, and I really believed that it had a big effect on my recovery.
And you continue to use those or some of those things today, right?
Absolutely. I buy them by the kilo now, believe it or not. And matter of fact, I use a couple of those ingredients in my skincare products just because it's just I use 3 of them in the skincare product as well. So it's a lifelong commitment, man. And I'm very, those people are very special to me. And I'm just extremely grateful, and I'm happy to spread the word to those that are in similar situations, or those who haven't but just want to look and feel better, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Perfect segue into this stuff, Alatura.
Nice,
So let's, before we talk about how the company was started and the specific product, I mean, talk about how you used it with that recovery, because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time you hadn't come up with the exact formula yet.
No, I would just eyeball stuff and throw them together. I've been using masks since I was about 21, 22 years old, and that was just one ingredient calcium bentonite mask. And then I just got, it was so effective that I began doing research on that stuff. It's just, we all have things that we love reading about, mm-hmm. and I can name a lot of things that I don't love reading about, but some things that I do are just like, nutrition, health, well-being. Clays, growth factor rich ingredients. I'm always just trying to figure out how to defeat the aging process, but do it by doing it naturally, right, through the things that I eat and through the things that I use topically. As an athlete, we want to maintain our speed and our frame and recover quickest. And man, I'm about to be 33. I think I'm just as fast, or I know my arm strength is still there from when I was, in my top shape at about 19, 20. And that's, man, I throw whenever my softball team plays, and that's because it's got to be because of what I'm doing for my body in eating, right? I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. My joints, my ligaments, my connective tissue, they're all in really good shape, and I'm hitting the ball probably further than I ever have been. And I just, the only way I can explain it is through through diet and through nutrition. So yeah, man. So I just, I used things like the nutrients that I was getting in from the food that I was ingesting, and then the supplements that I was taking as well. Helped me recover quickest, and so I mean that led into the skincare product that I made as well. I mean, I would, rather than buying that one ingredient, calcium bentonite clay, I basically did a ton of research and found that a lot of other clays provided unbelievable different results as well, such as like Rasul clay, which really brings a lot of circulation to the surface of the skin, and then conditions and removes impurities just as well. Whereas calcium bentonite has been known for detoxification and removing heavy metals, which I wanted to get, through the CT scans and X-rays that I was doing, and so that combined with like the kaolin clay, which is another big exfoliant that's in a lot of cosmetic products as well. Were my base, but then I started adding things like pyrophyllite clay, which is loaded with silica. I mean, silica is a building block in collagen. It's what our, it's a very, very, important mineral that a lot of us are lacking, right? So with our skin being our largest organ, it just made sense to put that stuff on topically. But then ingredient by ingredient, I started dissecting different spa treatments around LA. I would look up menus and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, the results were immediate. So it's just something I fell in love with. I had bad skin in college, and it just became like a little routine of mine. I started doing this mask a couple times a week, and it was just like it was. I knew I was going to feel better and look better, immediately. It was something I really, really looked forward to at a young age. And then so I started seeing these common ingredients like organic kelp powder. Some used organic seaweed powder. Pretty much the same thing. And then, things like vitamin C. So I use a really high grade, food grade form of that breaks the epidural layer of your skin, L-ascorbic acid. I included that as well. And then my buddy provided me with a jar of grass-fed colostrum powder that I started putting on my scar that I just felt some activity there. And just one day I experimented and threw that in my mask, and I felt a difference in it. And so that became, ingredient by ingredient, it just became, I was just eyeballing it. I wasn't doing exact measurements. It became just something that I started to call a mask, and I had a first name for it called Golden Glow, and that, it sounded too much like a bronzer to me and a lot of other people as well. But, and then I added a couple more ingredients over time. This took years of formulating. A lot of things didn't work. A lot of measurements didn't work. I put too much kelp powder at first and it smelled terrible. But it takes time, trial and error, right? And like my one thing that I just was undeniable was the result. Every time. I wanted to fine tune it and get it perfect to where it is now, I believe. The feedback's been just unbelievable. But it takes time. I'm not a chemist, but I knew that if you just combined incredible ingredients, but then again, a lot of incredible ingredients didn't work as well. So it's just these things work together synergistically. And the freshwater pearl powder and the American ginseng were the final two that pretty much just, I call it the dream team of ingredients, man. It's just it leaves your mind in a completely clean slate type of state. I'm ready to go. I do it every Monday morning. I do it 3 times a week, but it's just the best way. I hang upside down an inversion table, and I get all the blood rushing to the head. I get all those nutrients circulating to my scalp. I do my whole hair, neck, chest, everything. Because obviously I have access to a lot of it here.
Yeah.
I make it all out of my apartment and then just ship it out. I make it all by hand. I've shipped to 27 countries now. The coolest thing to me has just been the response. I realize this is a business, but man, my focus is just the victory for me is just the fact that people need it. They love it. And, I can't tell you how good that feels, man, because it's really, I didn't copy anybody. I found my base, but I used a lot of things that even like people, clay experts who been this stuff for years, they've been giving me credit for including things like freshwater pearl powder and colostrum topically, which I had never seen used before. And now you're starting to see it. Not that I'm like the first guy to do it. I don't know if I am or if I wasn't, but I'd never seen it before myself. So I just figured if it's good internally, why not put it on my skin externally? Your skin's your largest organ, and that's what's you're gonna absorb what you put on it into your bloodstream, and the results were just undeniable, man.
At what point did you say, as you're kind of formulating this for your own recovery, did you say, hey, I'm onto something, and let's see if we can make this into something that we can get to more people and share, and how did that evolve?
Well, when I found some really picky girlfriends of mine that needed it, they had to have it before shoots.
Yeah.
And they're extremely particular. So once I got that thumbs up of like them telling their friends, inviting their girlfriends over for like little mask nights and stuff like that, I was like, all right, well, and you sit around and talk with them, and they're just like, oh my God. And then they send you pictures afterwards, and like, they're all giddy about it. And that was so much fun for me. And then they're like, you should really, that I would buy this. And I was like, well, I didn't even have a price. I didn't have a website. I didn't have I came up with a name, but that name was kind of cheesy, but that's how it all starts. And Dave and I had actually approached Dave Asprey at Bulletproof, because I love their products. I'd used their collagen, their coffee, their MCT and brain octane oil, their chocolate powder to help get back to where I am now. And I shot him an email, and like, I've always been that way with products. Like, if you have an awesome product, I'm going to let you know about it and just say thank you, And also maybe a little side was trying to get a discount or something, but there's nothing wrong with that, But anyway, so I reached out. They got back to me because I had shown them, like, I kind of gave them a little pitch about me being an actor, where I had like a show coming out, and like, I've been doing a lot. I've been really busy with the modeling side of things as well. So I've been like, dude, look where I was, and look where I am now, and showing them some magazine stuff. And I just went like, hey, thanks, man. It's a lot of it's due to the product, your products, because Bulletproof is very close to me, and Dave's, as particular as he is with his ingredients, really hit home to me. I mean, I can, that's something I can definitely relate to. And so I wanted to let him know, just, and say thank you. So they got back to me, and he's like, he brought me on board actually as an ambassador, and we did a podcast, as you know. And the cool thing about it is it wasn't even planned to talk about Alatura and the product, because it really wasn't much. I mean, there was no website. It was something that I was thought about doing as a business down the road, but it was so, I mean, how do you even do that? How do you get an investor? I don't like asking people for stuff. I love doing stuff myself, and I kind of just believed it was going to happen when it was going to happen. I knew I had something good. Who's going to trust this former athlete model? Where's his? It's funny. You talk to people, and there's a lot of cynical people out there that just, with very little belief, and like, well, I mean, do you have a chemist background? And I'm like, no. But I never lost belief, and I never really listened to those people ever. But it's just amazing along the way where they like pinpoint the stuff that could possibly come along, rather than just going, dude, believe in it, take it and run with it. Just start pounding the pavement. The way you get hired, that's how you get a job. That's how you get anything in life, is by pounding the pavement, right?
Yep.
But anyway, Dave asked me during the podcast, it was a video podcast like this, like he's like, dude, you said you had scars, like, where are they? And I was like, well, actually, a lot of people are going to laugh at me for this, but I got this mask that I've been doing for the past couple of years to help, remove those scars and abrasions. And I've been using your cocoa butter, Dave. Thanks for that. And he's like, well, what's it called? And I was like, Alatura. He's like, oh, people out there would love to know about it. Do you have a website? And I'm like, no, I don't have any of that. And so I gave my personal email address, and I was out shooting for Oakley in Florida, I think. And I came back that day after the podcast aired. Inbox was just flooded with emails. I'm talking to hundreds of emails from all around the world. I mean, Bulletproof's obviously very well known, and you see a lot of it was just love. Like, hey man, loved your podcast. That's awesome. A lot of people have been through similar situations, but a lot of it was orders. Like, hey, how do I buy this product? I want to try it. So I came up with a name. I had a buddy from back home, Eric. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Set up a website for me. Came up with a price, and just stuff. I mean, this all happened so quickly, man. And Dave said, and I told Dave, I wanted to just thank Dave for like helping me with that. And Dave's like, well, kind of sparked interest with him too, because Bulletproof was getting a lot of feedback from it as well, from the podcast. And so Dave and I sat down, came up with a deal, and came to terms on an agreement, and we scaled up. It was such a trip because that's like right when I started to work a ton for Oakley. I was out of town, flying around, sometimes 2-3 times a week to different, all around the country. And then also down to their headquarters in Orange County. And so this is right when I had to scale up the product. I mean, I had to do like 3,000 units within, a month or something. And so Oh man, it's just so much. I got a 1 bedroom apartment, and you get 15 huge boxes delivered of jars and lids, and then you get uh, literally 2,000 pounds of, or 1,000, 1,500, I don't know what it is, but a lot of different, 9 different ingredients that I have in my product delivered right here. I mean, I'm playing like I'm doing hurdles and doing calisthenics around my apartment still to this day. But it's great though. It builds character. I'm hopping over boxes. I mean, I don't have much of a social life. That's fine. It's exhilarating, man. To own your own business, and the victory is just knowing that you created something, right? And,
you created.
Some bulletproof has been great, and I know what I've been doing in Alatura, and I'm extremely grateful for Dave for bringing me on board. I mean, it's just his audience is worldwide. I mean, I'm shipping off to countries. It's just a trip to me. I mean,
it's so cool that you were able to create something that has helped and been a positive thing in so many people's lives. And you said a couple of different examples in there of just like that mindset we talked about after the injury or the accident. I mean, and you and I talked about this that night when we went to Whole Foods. And actually, I've seen you at Whole Foods. So for everybody listening, I mean, Andy is a label reader. He goes straight to the back and reads the label, just like me. I do it too. But, you can never be too careful. I mean, he and I have been doing this for 15, 20 years, and you still got to read every label. But
oh, man.
I digress on that one. But, what we talked about was you have to find a way, whatever it takes.
Find a way.
And
whatever it takes.
You don't get hung up on the what or the how. You just know why, and you keep going, and eventually the other details just kind of work out.
Yeah. Find a way, dude.
Yep.
I remember when you said that, I was like, God, how many times? Yeah, it's got to be an athlete thing. You just get it done, execute, and find a way. I mean, I don't, never complain, never make excuses. Find a way. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, be accountable. Figure it out, and find a way to get it done the next time. That's all I know how to do, and you either that's just how I'm wired.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are too, man.
I am absolutely. So I'm holding this up in this couple of times. We're going to start carrying Alatura here at House of Strength. So for everybody listening, we will have this here. You can get it here. If you're not a member of the gym and you're not coming into the gym here in Roanoke and you want to get it, Andy, where did they go?
AlaturaNaturals.com has it. And happy to announce my moisturizer's coming out mid to late November.
Okay.
And it as stoked as I am about the mask, and that was my creation. It's just I've been for years, or about a year and a half, I've been recommending my favorite moisturizer to people that have been using the mask, and then also people that just were just asking for a good moisturizer. Honey Girl Organics out of Hawaii created my base, and then I added a ton of essential oils and things like aloe vera, cacao butter, and basically created just my dream moisturizer as well. So that's coming out. It took a long time. It took about 9 tweaks. And I got the maroon black violet glass out of the Netherlands to do my bottle, and it's exactly what I wanted. So so anyway, to finish off what I was saying, as excited as I am about the mask, I'm just, you saw at the conference, I had a sample of the moisturizer, and the feedback was pretty awesome. So
yeah.
I'm excited to release that and kind of just give a remedy that it's all I do. It's all I use, just a mask and my moisturizer, and so there's just no holes. I'm trying to find something wrong with it, but I can't. So
give us some best practices for using the mask and the moisturizer.
Cool. So what I like to do is add essential oils to it. Essential oils are, but you got to be careful. I like Mountain Rose Herbs out of Oregon. They're an awesome company. that provides a super pristine product. And there are a lot of, and all organic as well. I mean, just check and make sure that it's organic, but they carry primarily organic essential oils and carrier oils as well. So I like to, for the mask, I like to, for aromatherapy benefits, but also just to make it smell a little better and to condition the skin, I like to add clary sage oil. Provides a level of clarity that is just, I mean, it's unbelievable. I do a nighttime moisturizer as well with sea buckthorn, clary sage, and aloe vera oil, and cacao butter, and beeswax. Actually, yeah, doing a lot of different stuff at night before I go to bed. Is like a little nighttime moisturizer just under the eyes, to keep it conditioned, and also to keep that area moisturized, and also to just provide a level of circulation. Believe it or not, the cacao butter has natural caffeine in it. And it acts as a diuretic under the eyes. So you wake up, there's no puffiness or anything. So, that combined with the antioxidant properties and the good essential fatty acids in the cacao pod, it's just a complete game changer. So that's one little tip right there. Nighttime treatment, cacao butter. And if you want to turn it up even more, start adding essential oils. Or you can, that's basically a big part of what my moisturizer is. But I also added a ton of things like local raw honey. I mean, these people holistically raise their own bees in their own farm out in this awesome island of Oahu, and that's what I loved about them, But that's why they're formulating my moisturizers, because how picky I am with stuff like that. So that's just find a super clean moisturizer, and then hit the mask. Do it post mask. I like to let it dry to get that
cake
that
or cracking
that that can. Like the congestion around the eyes, just to get that release, that compression that is released once it dries is, circulation. Yeah. So, just when it dries up, it really, starts compressing and getting, once that, is released and that pulsating action is released, a lot of congestion around the eyes is released as well. And it's as everybody who's tried the mask knows, I mean, it's just an overwhelming feeling, just release, and those capillaries under the eyes are circulated, and I just really think that that's what under eye circles. That's how those develop. Is that area becomes stagnant? It's not moving around, and in addition to the exfoliating that you're getting through the mask, you're also getting all those nutrient rich ingredients into the skin and driven that close to the scalp as well. If you'd like to do a great way to get circulation in incredible minerals and nutrients, close to the follicle and that close to the brain as well. Think about it, and all that detoxifying that you're from the neck up is going through. It just relieves you leaves you in a extremely relaxed state, but also a stimulated. Your skin is extremely stimulated, clean, clear, and super fresh. I mean, I recommend hopping in the shower and letting the water release it rather than rubbing it off. You got to be careful, like I said, with those capillaries. They're very delicate. Just gently massage off, let the water take it. The first part, and you should just be able to kind of gently rub it off, and then hit it with a moisturizer as soon as you get out. Well, first do a cold water rinse so your pores are closed, and then hit it with a moisturizer when you get out of the shower, and
good to go.
The results speak for itself. I did one this morning, and I do it 3 times a week. I do it, gentlemen. Do it before you shave. Lift up those little hair. I used to get ingrown top 3s and before I was, doing the mask, and it just doesn't happen anymore. So highly recommend before a shave. It is a pretty big game changer. So,
and you also,
and any tip?
You don't use regular shaving cream either. You use aloe, right?
If you can't I'd recommend getting like an aloe vera oil and then a good cleansing milk where you can just you gotta be extremely particular with your ingredients. There's a lot of fillers, a lot of just stuff that doesn't need to be there, and that bothers me. It's got to be a cost issue. I heard something really disturbing the other day. A lot of these companies spend more on packaging than the actual ingredients themselves,
or on marketing.
And I know what I spend on marketing, and a lot of marketing. Yeah, I guess, but
so and you asked, if I had any. I've used it with water, and you even said that the alternative to water could be apple cider vinegar. I'm a huge fan of raw apple cider vinegar, so I had to see what it was like with that. The texture of the mix is completely different with vinegar and water, and I think the effects are significantly enhanced by using the vinegar.
Definitely. Some people do really well. I have it in a number of med spas in the LA and San Diego area. It's becoming one of the most popular at-home treatments in those med spas, and I'm struggling to stay on top of fulfillment and getting them product, which is great. I mean, it's everything I wanted. But so they're just what they're doing is a combination of Bulgarian rose water, apple cider vinegar, distilled water, essential oils. I mean, whatever works for you. That's a cool thing about it. Is you can make it really your own little personal spa treatment at the comfort of your own home. I mean, it's the best treatment that I've done, and I'm including microderms, chemical peels, that I'm thinking of another enzyme treatments. I mean, it's just all that stuff has unpredictable downtime. I mean, this has like maybe 30, 40 minutes of downtime, which is just redness. So do it at night if you're doing it for the first time. It's effective. I've tried so many masks out there that are just, you rinse them off and you're like, I don't even, what just happened? I mean, like you put something on and you take it off. And sadly, that's a lot of these people, they could care less what the response is. They're selling. They're all about just selling. So my basic routine is I do it 3 times a week, and I use just pure raw apple cider vinegar from Bragg's, and it's about a 1-to-1 ratio dry product to Bragg's organic raw apple cider vinegar, and I add a couple drops of clary sage, a drop of lavender, and sea buckthorn oil is kind of an aromatherapy aspect to it, but also they're just extremely beneficial essential oils for the skin. And I like to let it drip to get that in action, and the minerals and nourishing ingredients just driven into the skin and the scalp. I do whole head and neck masks close to my hair-free circulation to that area, which is close to the brain as well, and you're detoxing that area as well. So as well as like going through a little bit of a detox, your body, your skin, exfoliates. It gets nourished and encourages growth of, I believe, new skin cells with growth factor. First milking colostrum is really hard to the scalp as well if you want to use it up there. And that's what I found is the biggest factor in under eye circles, dark circles under the eye is just those capillaries are stagnant, right? So if you increase circulation to that area, I like to hop in the shower right after it's dry and let the water release it, and then gently massage off and do a cold water rinse to close the pores, and then hop out of the shower, moisturize, and you're good to go. I mean, I did one this morning. Like I said, I do it 3-4 times a week. If I'm working or shooting or something, I'll just do it. It's the best makeup remover ever for there are dudes out there that are models, but I can't find it. And the smell is definitely it's strong, and earthy, but it's effective, and it's actually the most effective treatment that I've ever done, and I have it in. It's becoming popular at all the med spas that I have it in the LA and San Diego area. So it's something I'm really proud of. And I'm here. I'm available. I can explain exactly why why all the ingredients are in there. They all kind of have their little story, and it's my baby, and I'm just really, really happy with the response that I'm getting, because I put a lot into Yeah, I mean, I put a lot into it, so the response I'm getting, it's just very rewarding. Just the fact that people like it, and to hear the stories of it removing to remove stretching, scarring from just acne scarring, being happy about the way they look at themselves in the mirror. I mean, I've been there, so it's just rewarding, man. That's why I'm doing this. So
it's really cool. It's awesome that it's that beneficial for so many people, and it's creating such a positive thing for the world. So let's we're gonna go into a little bit of a rapid fire. We'll ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll let you get back to mixing this and shipping this stuff out.
Yeah, cool. Actually, I got to send out today. So
okay, all right. Well,
I'm not saying like rush it. It's just today's for whatever reason a busy day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Rapid fire away, dude.
All right. Well, I know you've mentioned music, and I know music's a big part of your mood and your energy. So, what is on Andy's iPod?
Ooh, that's so funny you say that. I probably have like whatever those little shuffles hold, 250, 300 songs, and I probably have half of the capacity held up on that, right? But I only listen to like 6, and I just searched through. I should just have those 6 songs on there. I don't know why, I don't switch that out. I'm just weird like that, dude. But yeah, Sophie Needs a Ladder by Deadmau5. I listened to that like 5 or 6 times at the beginning of my workout. It's just I've listened to it for a year now, and every single time I get like goosebumps on my face. And Sophie Needs a Ladder extended remix by Deadmau5. Oh, I can't wait to listen to that tonight. So I seriously listened to that like 4 or 5 times, and it's like, I don't know, 6 minutes long, 6-7 minutes long, and so there's 20 to 30 minutes of my workout right there. And Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Awesome.
DMX intro from It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah, nice.
I'm just pretty happy to be here, man. So it happens a lot. As soon as we get off this call, I'm telling you, we're going right back to it. But
okay.
Let's see what else. Cascade, I Remember. It's a big favorite of mine. I love country. Okay, so Jason Aldean.
So if people want to get more from you or catch up with you, find out more about anything that you're doing, where can they find you?
On Facebook, just Andy Hnilo. Andy, my last name is difficult spelling. It's Hnilo. On Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, and I'm here. I love to do it. So hit me up.
Okay. All right. So it's deadlift day here at the gym. If it sounds like bombs are going off, people are dropping bars.
Nice.
So Andy, the way we close the podcast is one question in 2 parts. So part A is going to be, if folks only take one thing away from what we've talked about, biggest takeaway in your mind, what would that be?
Man, perspective. And that leads into so much. You hear so many complaints all day, every day, wherever I go, man. It's just, how's your day going? It's just people dragging ass throughout the day. And I'm like, to me, they look perfectly healthy. Who knows what they have going on? But man, it's just, I can't relate to that. If you're able to shop, you're a lot better off than a lot of people out there. And I don't want to, it's not just shopping. I'm talking like, in the line at the post office, wherever it is. There's so many people in such a fog daily. Have perspective, man. Like, you're alive, you're breathing. That's a lot more than a lot of people can say.
Yeah.
And so that's really important to me. It always has been. There's nothing to complain about. You're not going to hear it from me. And like, I'm not going to preach to others when others do. It's just kind of a head shaker. There's so much, especially in LA. God, the weather is shining, man. Things are good. Things can be a lot worse. Find perspective. That's what. And I'm sure a lot of your awesome listeners out there have it. It's just something a lot of don't.
Yeah, even if you have it, it never hurts to be reminded. So that's a great answer.
Yeah.
So
thanks, man.
part B of that is off topic, maybe something that we haven't talked about, or maybe something that we did touch on. If you can only give our listeners one piece of advice, what would you tell people?
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. I would just say that the only person whose opinion matters on what you do in life is your own. You got to find a way to just believe in yourself, and you're the only person who's going to dictate your future and your destiny. It's just, I've seen it time and time again with athletes in the entertainment industry, models, actors, whatever. Just countless people telling them no, and them kind of like, accepting it. But I've also seen people just who aren't even wired to understand what no means, and it's awesome because, it's just like, it doesn't shake them. You can't let that get you down. Those rejections or whatever it may be. The only person who's going to dictate what you do, I truly believe, is yourself. And that, your belief and your work ethic, discipline, man, you combine those three, the sky's the limit. So.
Awesome answer, man. That's exactly what this podcast is all about. So, Andy, thanks a lot for your time. Everybody listening, make sure you check out houseofstrengthgym.com. You see the video version of this. We'll have show notes that have links to not only the songs that Andy gave us to listen to, but, of course, some recipes for his morning and his evening tonics. And as always, we'll definitely have some links to find Andy and to the Alatura Naturals website so that you can pick up not only the mask now, but the moisturizer. So, Andy, thanks a lot for hanging out with us today. It's been awesome.
Right on, man. Hey, thank you for having me. And I can't wait to make it out to Virginia and check out your gym, dude.
Definitely.